Hey everybody, today I've got 15 tips and tricks for you for getting started in Starfield both for PC and Xbox completely spoiler free. These are just some little quality of life tips and snippets of knowledge that the game doesn't make super clear but will make a huge difference in how you can enjoy the game. Number 1. Mining asteroids. It's not especially obvious that this is a thing you can do, but you can actually shoot asteroids and eventually they will break into pieces and you can pick up resources that they drop. The really big asteroids can't be broken, or at least I didn't have the patience to shoot them long enough. Number 2. Tracking research. When you're completing research tasks, which can be found via a research bench, one of which you have on your first ship, you can mark a particular research as tracked, and then when you find that resource you need, either out in the world, in a chest, or in a trader's inventory, then it's marked clearly with this blue icon, and you know you need to take it. Buying resources from traders like the Trade Authority is a really easy way to stock up on parts you might need for this kind of thing. Number 3. Ship's inventory. If you find your bag is getting a bit full, then you can access your ship's inventory by going to this little control panel on the wall, or just by going into your inventory when on your ship and using the controls indicated at the bottom of the screen to scroll between your inventory, your ship's inventory, and even your companions. Your ship can store quite a bit of stuff in it, and this can also be upgraded as you progress through the game. The terminals where you can sell items by the landing pads for your ships can also directly access your ship's inventory, so you can sell items straight from the cargo hold. Also, don't forget to stuff your companions' pockets full of all the extra junk that you don't want to carry yourself when you're out on a planet and away from your ship. Number 4. The help menu. In your general settings menu, there is the help section, which is basically a huge database explaining tons of gameplay mechanics and controls. It's incredibly useful, and I would recommend having a skim through it, as there is loads to be learned there. Number 5. The difference between stolen and contraband items. Stolen items are marked with a red icon, and these are things that you've stolen from people or places that you weren't meant to. These can't be sold to all vendors, but the Trade Authority seem pretty happy to buy these if you're looking to offload. You can fly in and out of systems with stolen items just fine, but if you get arrested for something, they will be confiscated. Contraband items, on the other hand, are another level. These are marked with yellow and a high value dodgy goods. When you approach a system, you'll get scanned and they may find the contraband and try to arrest and fine you. It's important to know the difference between the two so that you don't start worrying too much about carrying a few stolen items. Number 6. Picking things up. If you're unfamiliar with this classic Bethesda mechanic, you can pick a lot of items up without putting them in your inventory by holding the interact button instead of tapping it. This is E on PC or A on Xbox. You can use this to decorate your ship or home, or to just put buckets on people's heads. Number 7. Photos. This isn't so much a tip as a cool bit of knowledge. If you take photos in the in-game photo mode, then they will sometimes be used as loading screens in your gameplay. Number 8. Lockpicking. When you're trying to pick locks, you can line up different pick layouts without using them, and they will stay in place whilst you go and check another one. This way you can check you have everything lined up for a layer of the lock before you commit to anything. I'd also recommend buying Digipicks when you can, as you do tend to go through quite a lot of them. Scanning from the ship and traveling. Remember that as well as scanning when on foot, you can also open the scanner whilst flying your ship with LB on Xbox, and as well as seeing more information about nearby planets and ships, you can target distant planets and locations and hold X on Xbox or E on PC to fly directly to them without having to open your star map every time you want to go to a different planet. Number 10. Adjusting FOV for PC. If you're playing on PC and want to adjust your FOV, you can do this by creating a text file in your Starfield folder and putting some information in it. I'll put a screenshot of exactly what you need to put in this on the screen now so you can pause and do that. And I'll also put a link to the original Reddit post this was from user clue source in the video description. I haven't tested it myself, but it seems to work, and apparently it doesn't also affect in-game achievements. Number 11. Surveying a planet. Most planets can be surveyed either from orbit or by scanning things on the ground. Your scanning skill will have an effect on this. To scan stuff on the ground, you have to run around and scan all the wildlife, plants, and resources multiple times until they get to 100%, as well as finding any unique points of interest that also need scanning. This generally just involves a lot of running around with your scanner open. Keep in mind that some animals will only spawn in certain locations like caves, which can make finding them all quite tricky sometimes. Remember, you can just keep picking different landing sites on planets and land pretty much wherever you like. You don't have to rely on the preset marked locations to land. When you do land at these random places, the game will just give you a bunch of randomly generated points of interest to check out, and it will also tell you if you've already found every available animal, plant, or resource in that particular biome on that planet already. Once you've fully scanned a planet, you'll be rewarded with a data slate that you can sell, as well as bonus XP and a boost to outpost production on that planet. Number 12, lock skills. Quite a lot of skills are locked behind a skill point in the game, such as pickpocketing, using a boost pack, or targeting individual ship areas. It's worth having a really good read through the skills, as some of these are extremely useful. Being able to lock on and shoot at an enemy ship's thrusters, for instance, will allow you to disable it and board it and have a really cool fight in 0G, as well as then stealing their ship. Once you've spent one skill point on a skill, then you'll need to complete the little challenge it gives you before you can spend another point on the same skill and take it up another tier. Number 13, the Lodge Basement. The Lodge is a building you visit within the first mission or two of the main story very early on, and if you head down to the basement here, you'll find every single workbench that you could ever need. These are super handy for all sorts of things all through the game. There is also a console on the wall down here where you can pick up extra missions for credits that are outside of the main story or faction missions. Number 14, junk is junk. Unlike Fallout 4, where junk items were scrapped into base components, junk in Starfield really is junk. The things to hold on to are resources which you can use to research, craft upgrades, and build outposts with. But junk items are only really useful for selling and also for decorating your lovely ship or base. Number 15, wanted. One last tip that worked well for me was taking the wanted trait at the start of the game. This means you get attacked occasionally by bounty hunters, both in space and also on foot on planets. I've had legendary items drop from these very early game, and whilst I'm not saying you're guaranteed a legendary drop, you can certainly get some good extra loot from them. So that's everything for today. If you have any more spoiler-free tips and tricks to share, then please post them in the comments down below and upvote the ones that you find most helpful. And if you want to see more videos like this, then why not like and subscribe, as I have tons more Starfield content planned for the coming weeks.
Something on your mind? And is it hero work?